The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Woodburn Fire District, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 38751. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Let's start with the front of the fire apparatus, starting at the roof line, where you'll find 5 identification clearance lights, 1 on each side of the vehicle and 3 clustered in the center. Moving up from that location, you'll find 2 brow lights on the top of the apparatus. Moving up to the roof, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Located inside the light bar in the center is your opticom. Moving up to the roof on the passenger and driver side, you'll find 2 spotlights controlled from inside the cab area. There are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. As we move down to the forward section grille, you'll find the Pierce logo located at the top section, over to the headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights, along with emergency warning lights in the upper cluster. Located in the face of the front bumper, you'll find your PA speaker and electronic siren, dual air horns located on the passenger and driver side, and a mechanical siren located on the face of the bumper on the driver's side. Let's take a look at the close-up here on the driver's side, where you'll find the air horn and also mechanical siren. Let's go ahead and move just underneath the front bumper area, where you'll find 2 closed tow hooks. These are not intended as tow hooks, although used as attachment points, 6,000-pound direct pull. To the side of the bumper extension, emergency warning light, and a top access location in the very center of the bumper extension. As we move now to the side, you'll find a visual sight gauge indicator into the center of the axle, Alcoa wheel, and Goodyear tire. Once again, on the side of the bumper extension, side-facing emergency warning light. Just up on the A-pillars, where you'll find your marker turn indicator light. They are easily accessible with your gloved hand. These are your access latch and also keyed lock. Right next to that, you'll find the grab handle for gaining access in and out of the cab. To the very center, directly over the front axle, is where you'll find your shoreline inlet. You'll also find a shoreline inlet indicator. When plugged into shoreline power, that will become active. Mirror housing a flat mirror and convex mirror. As we move to the very rear portion of the cab, you'll find the lower zone emergency warning light. Moving up to the top roof line, you'll find the go light located over the driver's side and one over the passenger side. Side-facing cab scene light, and then also LED water tank level indicator. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of those items, the things that we just talked about. First, starting with the front marker turn indicator light. Moving now to the door handle and grab handle. Moving into the window area, where you find the auto charge. Moving now to the shoreline inlet, and then down to the front wheel and axle. Moving back to the mirror, where you'll find the flat and convex mirror. Up to the very top, where you'll find the go light controlled from inside the cab. As we move now to the over portion over the window, where you'll find a side-facing floodlight, and then also LED water tank level indicator. Let's go ahead and move inside the vehicle. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information. You'll also find the combination door lock and latch. Moving up, electric windows for all 4 windows, grab handle, and then also you'll find attached in this area this yellow placard. This is indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the VIN number, and then all of the fluid capacities, fluid type for your vehicle. Let's go ahead and move now into the step well of the vehicle, where you'll find a step light, and then now up into the cab floor area. accelerator and brake treadle. Moving now to the driver's seat. This is an air ride seat. There are adjustments forward and back on this large bar. As you move to about the left knee of the operator, you'll find your master battery switch, the engine, transmission, ABS J1939 diagnostic port, ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit switch. Moving just up from this location, you'll find the start and ignition switch. Moving just inside this location, you'll find a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This will engage and disengage all emergency lights, along with your headlight switch and panel switch, allowing you to brighten and dim lights within preview of the operator. On the gauges, we're going to find the transmission oil depth level and water temp, tachometer, and speedometer directly in the center. Moving to the opposite side of the cluster, you're going to find your volts, fuel, front air, and rear air. Diagnostic information displays above and below in the tally lights, and in addition to the very center section with a digital screen. Moving just to the right of the dash steering wheel, you'll find your OK to engage the high idle indicator and switch. Now moving to about the right knee of the operator, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions for its operation from pump to road and also from road to pump. Just a reminder, 2 green indicators, pump engaged and OK to pump before exiting the cab for pump operation. Mirror control for the main mirror and convex mirror for both left and right mirror. General view will start at the very top. This is your backup monitor. Below that, we've got some additional switches. We'll cover those in just a moment. Pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. This is the rear brakes. Back to the monitor, where you'll find just below that some switches. Find front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, rear scene, perimeter lighting, and load manager. Also, push to apply windshield wiper fluid and twist to engage windshield wipers. Engine brake on and off, settings for low, medium, and high, mirror heat and off-road traction control, Allison transmission pad, digital readout, push button. Moving to the right, these are the 2 go lights, one for the passenger, one for the driver. Climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Moving just to the right of this location, you'll find your electronic siren control and PA speaker system. Further to the right, 12-volt access via barrel style USB and also an air horn push button. Overhead, let's go ahead and cover the left-hand side over the driver area, where you'll find the height of the vehicle, 10 feet, 6 inches. The length of the vehicle, 33 feet, 2 inches. Gross vehicle weight rating, 42,000 pounds. This also has your 5-digit job number, 38751 TR-01. Overhead, you'll find emergency master, roof, front warning, side, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. Also your Opticom electronic or air horn selector switch, and then also air horn electric switch. Moving just over in the center, red indicating someone is in the seat and not belted, green they're in the seat and belted. That is your seatbelt information display. Also, do not move your apparatus if that light is flashing, indicating you have a compartment door open or ajar. Headsets located in all seated positions. We're now to the crew cab area. Let's move inside this space. Just to the rear of that location, you'll find a lower zone emergency warning light. As we move to the door panel area, you'll find a fixed-to-door panel, safety and warning placard information, window control, electronic lock, and also grab handle. Just to the rear of the front axle, you'll find mud flaps. Also moving just inside, just a general view. EMS compartment located in this space also. Adjustable shelving, LED lighting, and a switch on the very top section for activating the light within that compartment. We have heaters located under both rear-facing seats, one on the passenger and one on the driver. SCBA bracket with seats. As we move just to the rear of the driver, you'll find your battery charger and also air compressor. When plugged into shoreline power, both of these items will become active, maintaining brake, air pressure, and also 12-volt batteries. Let's move to the rear, where you'll find at the rear of the engine tunnel access for daily checks for oil and transmission. Overhead, your air conditioning and also fire comm headsets. To the rear, forward-facing SCBA bracket and seat. Intercom system. Let's move down to the exterior portion. Midsection of the pump panel area on the back of the rear cab wall is where you'll find a pole light. In the lower section is where you'll find a cupped switch for each of these pole lights for activation. Now to the pump panel area, let's start first just in front of that to the crosslay area. There are 3 crosslays located in this area. Also, lift and turn latch gains you backboard storage location. Along on the vertical wall, all of our pull-down steps for gaining access to go aloft. Pump panel area, let's start in the upper left-hand corner. If you've engaged the pump properly, you should have a light illuminating in the center section of the pump panel. Also, instructions here for your foam system. As we move to the right into the gray module, master intake gauge and then master discharge gauge. In between the two of those are the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. These are currently plugged and are utilized for pump testing procedures. Let's move just to the right of this location where you'll find a water tank level indicator, that's the blue, and then just to the right is the foam level indicator, that is the red module. Let's move downward. You'll find, if properly engaged, the OK2 pump indicating green, and then all of your panel lights, scene lights, and then as we move further down, you have a rear inlet and an air horn. To the left, you'll find your pressure throttle governor. Also within this area, you'll find a black speaker. This is for audible alarms. It does rotate on the outer bezel to allow you to dampen or brighten sound. Engine cooler located on the left-hand side, along with a red push button for your air horn. Let's move further to the left. This is your Husky foam system module. Operating instructions are on the placard, along with your large diameter discharge located on the passenger side. This is a wheel valve. Moving further to the left, you'll find the recirculating line. Also some informational placards here regarding entanglement hazard. Because those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also your Husky 3 foam system specifications placard. Let's move down now where you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharges. The red indicator is what are the foam-capable discharges. Moving to the far right, you'll find the tank to pump and then also a warning regarding fall hazard. When climbing on the vehicle or off, always face the vehicle. Let's move down where you'll find your wattress placard indicating the capacity 1,750 GPMs. Also a real discharge located in this area. As we move to the right, you'll find two 2.5-inch discharges, discharge 1 and discharge 3. Moving further to the right, a pressure hazard warning indicating that caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening. The Pierce logo American Flag Eagle large diameter pump inlet, tank fill and recirculating line, along with the fire pump primer push to prime air prime. There are 2 located here, one for the fire pump and one for the rear intake. At least 1,000 RPM for best practices. This is the main pump drain and then also the manual pump shift down in the lower right hand corner. As we move to the left, you'll find the driver's side auxiliary inlet drain. Moving further to the left, a warning placard indicating that only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after proper training. 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet locally controlled via a ball valve, female inlet. We do have an additional access panel here. Lift and turn latch gains you access into this space. This is where you'll find the foam operation or fill lever located within inside this compartment. We have an air outlet located here. This is for truck air. And then also an air shutoff, open or close. Moving further down, warning placard indicating do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure, and then also the lever for fill or tank operation.
Color-coded and labeled discharge drains located across the very bottom. On the vertical wall, you'll find a fold-down step for gaining access to go aloft. Full view of the apparatus. All compartment doors now are in the open position. Let's go ahead and take a look inside those compartments. First, starting in the forward compartment, where you'll find throughout the vehicle compartments a ventilation system. Just at the very bottom section, directly in front of the rear axle, folding wheel chock storage. Over wheel compartment houses a tool board. D-handle gains you access. When it's open, it will lock into position. The release is located on the hinge side. SCBA bottle storage for 2 bottles with retaining straps and an additional oxygen bottle storage location. In front of the rear axle, you'll find your marker turn indicator light. Over the rear wheel, you'll find a lower zone emergency warning light. As we move to the wheel, Goodyear tire and Alcoa wheel. Let's continue to move toward the back, where you'll find the fill location for your ultra low sulfur diesel. It's the silver cap. As we fold the flap downward, it exposes the 4.5 US gallon DEF tank, which is the blue cap. As we move toward the rear, you'll find ventilation in each of the compartments, adjustable shelving in this compartment, and then also when plugged into Shoreline Power, this outlet will become active. To the rear of the axle, where you'll find mud flap. As we move now to the rear of the apparatus, let's identify a few items within this area. First, starting at the very top section with a rear-facing emergency warning light. Moving just down from this location, you'll find a scene light located at the rear. Rear scene lights and hosebed light switches. These are the cup switches on the driver's side, along with an emergency warning light, brake, turn, and reverse light. Moving to the very rear portion, just under the body, is your license plate holder. Moving to the very top of the hosebed area, you'll find a grab handle. And as we move toward the rear of the apparatus, we'll identify a few items here. Let's start on the left-hand side with some fold-down steps, and then also D-handle gains you access into a small space down in the lower portion. A couple of warning placards here. Let's start with entanglement hazard. Because of those lines coming from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. Also, fall hazard when climbing on and off vehicles, make sure you face the vehicle. And pressure hazard, caps may be under pressure, be cautious when opening them. To the fall hazard regarding this is never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. Let's move just to the right, where you'll find your backup camera. Also a rear 2.5-inch discharge. As we move to the compartment at the very bottom of the running board, you'll also find, or tailboard, you'll also find 2 drop-down shelves gaining access to go aloft. Roll-up compartment door. This is a through compartment. On the far right-hand side, you'll find your rear inlet. Also within this area is also the drain. At the very top, you'll find your ladder rack housing 24-foot extension, 14-foot roof, pike pole, and a 10-foot attic ladder. Emergency warning light at the top section. Also, as we move further down, you'll find a scene light on the right side. Down at the very bottom section, emergency warning, brake, turn, and reverse. Down in the lower portion, you'll find the rear inlet drain. Let's move around now to the passenger side of the vehicle. We'll identify a few items within this area. Pretty much the same configuration and layout as you have on the driver's side as you have on the passenger side. Let's identify those. First, let's start with all compartment doors open. In the rear compartment, this is a pass-through compartment. It does have ventilation within this space. And then also down in the lower section, it's where you'll find Shoreline outlet. Once again, when plugged into Shoreline Power, this will become active. Mud flaps to the rear wheel. SCBA bottle storage for 3 bottles with retaining straps. Overwheel compartment houses a tool board. D-handle gains you access to the rear portion of the tool board where it will lock into position. Over the wheel, you'll find a lower zone emergency warning light, Alcoa wheel, and Goodyear tire. Let's move just forward of the rear axle, where you'll find an additional SCBA bottle storage location for 3 bottles with retaining strap. As we move down, marker turn indicator. I would like to point out also in this area, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. They do exist, especially during regen operation. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. As we move to the forward compartment, we do have an additional outlet located here. This is attached to shoreline power, ventilation system, also adjustable shelves, and also 12-volt access via this bus panel. Here's the exhaust. Once again, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist, especially during regen operation. Be cautious where you choose to park your vehicle for regeneration. As we move to the ladder rack, once again, 24-foot extension, 14-foot roof, 10-foot attic, and pike poles. We're now to the mid-section where the pump panel is on the passenger side. We do have a booster line located in the upper portion, and then also backboard storage location in the forward section, along with 3 crosslays located forward of that. As we move to the rear cab wall, you'll find a pole light. The cup switch is located right next to the pole lower section. Let's move to the pump panel area, first starting with your equipment powered rack. There is a danger placard here, also instructions to raise and lower. Just above that, you'll find the reel rewind, along with the cab lift with instructions for raise and lower. Also some caution and danger placard information within this area due to the operation of the movement. Moving forward, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge. This is discharge number 4. You'll also find a lift and turn latch gains you access into this space for the pump panel area, where you'll find your intake relief valve settings. There are instructions for its operation on the face of the panel. Also LED light located in here with a switch. Number 2 discharge. This is a 2.5-inch discharge. Moving just to the left, large diameter discharge along with the American flag eagle Pierce logo, which is your large diameter pump inlet. Moving just down from this location, you'll find a warning placard here regarding fall hazard. Never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. Also the passenger side auxiliary inlet, locally controlled via ball valve. This is a 2.5-inch female inlet. All of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains are located in this area also. Close up here of the items that we just talked about. First, the fall hazard placard, and then also passenger side auxiliary inlet drain. Moving just under, you'll find the rear inlet drain. Moving to the front cab, same configuration and layout as we saw on the driver's side. First, starting at the top with an LED water tank level indicator. Moving forward to this location, cab scene light. Lower zone emergency warning light, grab handle, and then also your latch combination key. Moving forward into the cab itself, at the rear portion, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information. As we move into the step wheel, you'll find a light in the upper corner. This will activate when the door is open and battery is on. Also mud flaps to the rear of the front wheel. And as we move inside, you'll find attached to the door panel hinge area a grab handle, which is red in color for gaining access in the cab area. Into the EMS compartment, you'll find a control zone light here. This is access from that switch, along with a heaters under both right and left side rear facing seats. SCBA seats. This is a rear facing on the passenger side. Moving overhead, you'll find your air conditioning unit and then also your headsets for your intercom system. To the rear wall, you'll find when plugged into shoreline power, this outlet is active. Moving now to the exterior, we'll find the mirror on the A-pillar, where you'll find a flat and convex mirror, grab handle, door lock, and latch combination. Moving now to the lower portion, where you'll find Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge into the center axle area. Moving now to the forward section of the officer area, fixed the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch and grab handle. Into the stepwell area, where you'll find a light. Let's move inside the cab area, where you'll find the officer seat. Just forward of that location, is where you're going to find the fire bell pull rope, and then just below that you'll find the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid fill. Let's take a quick look back toward the officer seat where you'll find seat comfort controls. Now moving to the SCBA seat located within the officer space. Moving forward to this location, you'll find a siren brake for your mechanical siren, and then also a activation for the mechanical siren. Overhead, we do have a few switch panels located on the far right hand side. These are going to control the scene lights for the front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, and rear scene. Also, you'll find the FireComm wireless base system along with some spare wiring tags. Please do not remove the spare wiring tags until your maintenance team has identified. FireComm system, FireComm headsets. Let's move now to the exterior where you'll find the fire bell controlled with inside the cab at the officer position. Side-facing marker turn indicator light. Moving now to the front bumper extension, side-facing emergency warning light. Moving up to the very top section of the bumper extension, this is a swivel discharge. Moving to the headlight structure, low and high beam headlights, and emergency warning light cluster just above that. Electronic siren and air horn in the face of the front bumper. General view here of the apparatus. Congratulations, Woodburn Fire District, Oregon, on your new Pierce Fire apparatus, job number 38751. If you have any questions regarding your vehicle, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.